Did I say I didn't like it? I said I didn't like that move to bring back Jimmy Garoppolo.
You were right. You were
And
right. I was wrong. You were right. I can see it. It's worse than I thought, man. It's
it's
worse.
terrible. It's
It's
all
worse.
downside and no upside.
It's
All
okay. We have a
downside.
good backup. Okay, at what cost? You don't have a
But,
team.
but also, by the time they have to make that move, right? Jimmy's not bringing them back from 2-6, right?
Right.
But if you don't give Lance 8 games to show something, then you're doing yourself a disservice.
Thank you. Yeah. And
Right?
you'll never know. You'll never know if you made the right
So
move. Yeah.
the problem is Kyle
And
is
how do you make Trey the starter next year if you pull the plug on him this year? How do you do that?
Yeah, it's really rough.
It's over. The whole thing is over after 4 starts. What a project. Well done. That's like writing the book on how not to develop a quarterback.
Yeah. You know what the problem is? Kyle is Theseus. You're familiar with Theseus, right?
No.
The ship of Theseus was a thought experiment that was brought up by Plutarch. Theseus is a Greek king, and his ship, he prized it so heavily that he would rebuild it each year. Every year he'd take apart all the pieces and he'd put them all back together with new planks of wood, right? Any bad plank, he would replace it with a good plank.
Mm-hmm.
And the thought experiment is, at what point does it become a different ship? Right? And Theseus is going, oh, I got the same ship, but he doesn't have the same ship. He's got a new ship.
Yeah.
And you can't treat this year's 49ers like it's last year's 49ers, like it's the year before's 49ers. Every time you take that ship apart and put it together with new pieces, it's a new team.
Yep.
And Kyle always starts the season thinking he has the same damn ship and he's going to sail it the same damn way, and it doesn't ever work.
And it takes him until November to figure out, oh, this is how I'm driving this ship this year. It's like, yeah, man, it's week 10. Yes, Debo's a running back. Yeah, you figured it out. Nice. Like, come on, man. Yes, I'm with you.
And the other thing is, I'm sick and tired of people calling this a Super Bowl roster. Can we stop doing that? What Super Bowl roster have you ever heard of that had 3 new starters, first-time starters on the offensive line?
Right.
That's not a Super Bowl roster.
Super Bowl roster doesn't have a top 15 quarterback? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
There's no Super Bowl roster here.
Okay.
Maybe if a bunch of question marks turn out to be really good players, maybe. And we think Trey could. But what are you talking about?
The last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say something nice about Jimmy Garoppolo, and I don't want you to freak out. Okay. The problem here is that Jimmy's not gone, so we can't get a good assessment of what Jimmy was without both sides going crazy, right? You've got people on one side saying, no, Jimmy was an A, maybe an A- quarterback. He was bringing you to the Super Bowl, blah, blah, blah. And you got people on the other side.
Chicago. Yeah. Uh-huh.
You got people on the other side going, no, Jimmy was an F. He was the worst quarterback ever, and the 49ers only won because they carried him. They would have won 2. They would have won 4 Super Bowls if Jimmy wasn't there. You can't get a middle ground because of the Trey element, right? Because everything is seen through the lens of whether you support Trey or not.
Right.
I would say Jimmy Garoppolo started off in 2017 as a B quarterback and regressed to a C, maybe a C+ quarterback on good days, right? Yeah. And saying that pisses both sides off, right? But
now he has moments in the playoffs where he can be even worse than that. But that's like still he's deep. He's deep in the season at that point, right? Yeah.
But the idea is that the philosophy is, okay, we have basically the same team as before. We don't. But they're saying, oh, we have the same team as before, and Jimmy's an F, so all Trey has to do is be a D or a C. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
And we're going to win the Super Bowl. And then when Trey loses, oh, well, Trey must be an FF.
Right.
So, right.
When that's actually totally not
complete. Yeah, but it's completely toxic. And you can't get a real assessment of what Jimmy Garoppolo was while he's still on the roster. And it was a perfect example you made of Rodgers and Favre, right? Because you can make a real, clear-headed understanding of what Favre was, romanticize him, love him, appreciate what he did for the team. We should be we should be able to do with Jimmy right now.
Just like you can do for Alex Smith. Alex Smith leaves the Niners, and you're like, you know what? he was a pretty good quarterback for this team. No hard
Right.
feelings, good time, not good enough, but he actually had to, you can find that middle ground for Alex Smith. For it's like for Jimmy, it's like, why are you still here? Go away. And it's not his fault. It's not his fault. And that's something like I just said with Trey, like, dude, this situation is not your fault. It's not Jimmy's fault either. To his credit.
That was the philosophy that they took into the offseason was we're gonna have that 6-10 Rodgers year where Trey's gonna struggle in his first year, right? They thought, okay, we're gonna have that year, so we're not gonna put a bunch of money into the things, right? And we're gonna use holding on to Jimmy Garoppolo as an excuse. But when it came right down to it, they didn't have the nutsack. They didn't have the nutsack to straight up cut him, right?
No, they didn't.
And that move to sign him to a $6 million whatever to be a backup, that was about saving face.
Saving face.
They couldn't cut him. So you saw the narrative shift the week after that happened. Everybody's going, brilliant move, great job by the 49ers.
I even said it.
Yeah, they played you, Grant. They played everybody.
I fell for it. Yeah, but now it's week 2, and I'm like, nah, that's terrible. I take it back. I see it for what it is. The Niners should see it for what it is too. Josh, I got to take more calls, but you're on fire, man. You got a really good pulse this year of the team. I appreciate you.
Have a good one, man.